What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. Today is Friday, and I am wearing my Rolex Submariner 124060. And today we'll be talking about, or today I'll be talking about, discussing with you guys the difference between gray market and watch flippers and kind of where the market is. And is it a good time to buy? Well, let's talk about it. I'll roll the intro.
You're watching Timepieces with Tony. Talking Timepieces with Tony. You're watching Talking Timepieces with Tony. Yeah.
All right. I got Paco here. He's being a little kind of a little dick, but that's what Paco does. He picks on Uku. Say hello. Hello. Be a good boy. So you say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Look, that's you. You don't want to know. Okay, bye. All right, cool. So anyway, where I lose my train of thought, because I just wing these videos as I go. First and foremost, here's the thing. The overall watch market right now is, as we know, kind of in a shambles. Or not saying a shambles. I mean, it's uncertain. Everything in the world right now is uncertain. Whatever it may be, it's just everything's up and down. It's just the stock markets are. I've said this before. The amount of money I've lost in the stock market, I could have bought 3 Daytonas on the gray market at this point. It's scary, man. But right now, here's the thing: the flippers. First and foremost, the difference of a flipper and then generally a gray market dealer. Flippers, for the most part, are able to get these watches, and let's just talk about Rolex. Right now it's just the easiest watch to talk about. They get the watch from the AD at retail. Say, for instance, we'll use my Submariner. Say at $10,000, not just under $10,000. They get the watch before they walk out of the store. They're already dialing the gray market dealers to try to sell the watch, and they'll sell it for the best price. Even earlier this year or a year ago, that flipper could have sold this Submariner for about $13,000, making it an easy $3,000 profit, right? And then in turn, the gray market dealers were selling them for anywhere from about 15 to 17, and I have seen them up at $20,000 at one time. Not talking about right now. So because of that, Rolex are essentially basically giving you money, right? They're saying, well, this is why it's so hard to get Rolex. They're like, well, wait a minute, I want to sell it to this guy who I know is not going to flip the watch, right? It's kind of common now. People know that. But right now, because the gray market dealers, they're not flippers. They don't get those watches from the AD. They get them from the flipper, and then in turn, that's where they have to make some money, right? So that the dealers will probably only make about $1,000, maybe a little bit more on top of it when they sell that watch. So who's making the money generally is the flippers, right? The gray market dealers are, for the most part, are not in the flipping game. They are into buying and selling watches. Their business is watches. Most of these companies that, like, for instance, let's even take Joma Shop. I can't stand them. Either way, Joma Shop, they've been around for a long time. They sell watches on the gray market. They sell them at a discount. They get these watches a lot of times from companies that aren't, have, maybe previous inventory, last year's inventory, so to speak, and need to get those watches out of there. So they sell them to someone like Joma Shop or whatever other gray market dealer at a discount. Then Joma Shop are able to give you that discount on the watch. So that's really what the gray market is. Those gray market dealers, people who sell pre-owned watches, have been doing this for a very long time. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing because they're just selling pre-owned watches. However, when this whole craze came about with the Rolex shortage, Patek Philippe, or whatever it is, and these people are getting these watches, now the gray market watch dealers kind of have to go with the flow, and they have to pay these prices. Now that everything's dropping, some of them are liquidating some of that inventory. However, it doesn't mean they're going out of business. However, a lot of these flippers are, because right now, if you want to buy a Rolex, it's your best time. You're getting like a 124060 right now. When I say, well, I was seeing them up to $20,000 a year ago, I'm not kidding. I mean, if you look at Chrono 24, that's where some of them were. A lot of them were between 15, 17, and $18,000. But now you're seeing in the mid to high 12s. You're still seeing some at about 14, $15,000, but for the most part, it's you're seeing them in the 12s. Now keep in mind, you're looking at $10,000. If you really want a Submariner right now, you're willing to pay that extra couple of $1,000 because I don't think it's going to go down all that much more. And if it does, great. But it could also flip back up. You know what I mean? So right now is a good time to buy, I think. You know what I mean? I think it's a terrible time to sell, but I think it's a really, if you want to try to make money. I mean, me personally, anytime I've ever sold watches, I've never made money on them because I've never, or as far as my own, like when I sell something I don't wear anymore or whatever, then, I don't make money on them. I sell them to someone who just generally wants them, who'll get more enjoyment out of them and than I do at the moment. You know what I mean? So I that's just what it is. But I don't sell watches. I'm not a watch dealer. I'm not a gray market dealer or anything like that. So essentially, right now, I think it's the best time to buy. I'm not, I don't sit there and shop around and see what they're all going for because I'm not looking for any pre-owned Rolex right now. I am looking at Patek Philippe, but even still, that's not anything that's in my ballpark right now with the way that the market is. So having said that, you know, um, it may come down a little bit more, but I think if you're really in that market for a Rolex, I know a lot of people and a lot of my viewers at times were like saying, well, I don't want to have to go to the AD and spend $10,000, $20,000 to get on that list. And now you really don't have to, because if you want that Submariner and you're willing to just say, hey, I'll kick up an extra couple of $1,000s over retail to get it, then do it. If that's the only watch you want, then do it. If you want other watches, then go to your AD. Play that game, to get on, whatever person's list they have or whatever it may be. However they allocate those watches, whatever. It's up to you, man. No one's forcing you to do anything. But right now, like I say, you want something to hang on that's going to hold its value. Rolex are still the watch to do that. So other than that, I think that's about all I had to say. I don't even have a beer. It's like just about that time. But having said that, yeah, go out and get yourself a watch, man, and enjoy it. Love it. We're in this to enjoy watches and hang on to watches. You're going to find now that with the flippers, a lot of those guys that were getting into the flipping aren't in business anymore because they can't get the watches, for one. And two, keep in mind, if you're looking at the Submariner that retails at 10,000 and you're seeing around 12,000 on the gray market right now, there's no money in it for the flipper because the flipper is going to get it for $10,000. The gray market still has to make a profit. You think they're going to give him any more than 10,000, maybe retail for the watch? There's no money there. Granted, you just get your money right back and no profit. Is it worth it? Okay, they give you a little bit more, 100, 200, $500 even more. Is it worth it? No. Date just aren't really flippable watches now. Again, Submariners, with the prices, there's not that much money, and besides, even with watch flippers, everybody became a flipper. People that never even thought about becoming a flipper became flippers because they were going, wait a minute, I've got a good news spreads. I have a good relationship with my AD. Let me see if I can get that GMT, that root beer, or the Submariner or whatever, Daytona, whatever it is, because they've got big spending histories. They weren't in the market to buy a watch, but they can make a quick few $1,000s by getting a watch and flipping it. And they weren't even flippers. They're just all going, well, shit, if everyone's doing it, I'm going to do it. So now the market is so flooded with these watches, there's too many of them. So it's going to settle. Everything's going to, eventually it's going to just, well, there's too many watches out there that are on the gray market. Eventually, it's coming down, but eventually it's going to kind of even keel or go up again, eventually. But yeah, again, that typical saying, the crystal ball, no one has it. But I almost bought one at the Halloween store the other day. I should have, because then I could see. But all right, having said that, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk soon.